that would be great. I don't know who's in charge of hitting that record button.
I could do it.
Okay, thank you, Juan.
Do you want to start right now?
Sure.
Okay.
I usually start mine around now. Just it's always nice to have a backup. And look, I'm glad I checked. I hadn't hit the start recording button. Yeah, I guess I'll get started now with some of the introductions. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 7th Ask Me Anything session for Decentraland Community. I'm Fractilians with the Facilitation Squad, Decentraland DAO. And while everyone's joining, I'd like to share a little bit of info and some links for all of you guys. So let me first start off. I have the links here for the Slido. So if you have any questions during the event or during the presentation, please use that and submit your questions there. And I'll just paste it down there for you guys. And regarding the technical AMAs, we have another one for this next cycle. So the next one will be on February 1st at the same time, and it will be about the dApps. So further information on upcoming AMAs, we have this Notion doc, and I will paste that here as well for you guys. And you guys can check that out if needed. And we are here to support and create bridges between the Decentraland DAO and grantees. If you guys have any other questions or blockers, please feel free to contact the Grant Support Squad or the Verified Partners Registry, and they will be there to answer your questions as soon as they can. Well, today is the Explorer session, and I'm going to pass it on now to Álvaro Luque, who is the Explorer Product Manager from Decentraland Foundation. Thanks, Álvaro, for being here, and with that, I will pass it to you.
Thank you, Natalie. Hello, everybody. I don't know, shall I share my screen, right, with the presentation then?
Yes.
Let me do it. Okay, so this screen. Can everybody see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so hello, everybody. Thanks for joining this technical Ask Me Anything session of the Explorer team. I am a proud representation of the Explorer, before as a single product manager, but now we have divided ourselves into different teams. First, I would like to show you that we have a Slido. You can go there to ask any question that you would like to have regarding of what we're going to be explaining today. I'm going to leave this here for a minute so you can scan the QR code. In any case, we're going to have this at the end of the presentation. So yeah, the Explorer team. We are the team in charge of the reference client of Decentraland that is right now built in Unity, and it's for the web and the desktop version. We are in charge of making the best client that is going to be used as reference in terms of performance or visually appealing, and it will allow to make all the user-generated content shine in trying to make it for all the devices, as most devices as possible. So as I mentioned before, we had only one single team dedicated to the Explorer, but now we have decided to go into different squad or different teams that will have dedicated or assigned tasks, so they can focus more on different aspects of the Explorer. So now we have the core, the social and identity, and the discoverability and engagement streams. So we're going to be showing you a little bit of what we're doing on each one of those work streams, as we call it internally. For that, I'm going to pass it for the first one. It's going to be the core work stream. It's going to be Ashley. I leave it to you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, so I'm Ashley. I'm the engineering manager for the new core work stream. So within the core work stream, we decided to create a team which was pretty much dedicated to performance. We obviously have some issues which we're trying to tackle on a daily basis. These range from obviously performance issues within the reference client. We have memory issues, load time, and we focus on load times and architecture. And all of these we're tackling one by one. Next slide. Okay, so it's going to be quite short, this, but we are working on like lots of things internally. So some examples of the technical challenges we're facing right now, and we're slowly overcoming. Obviously, one of the main things is ensuring we get good performance on every device. So with the user-generated content that everybody's uploading, we have to make sure that we can display this well, depending on whether you're working on a desktop or whether you're working on a WebGL platform. Part of that challenge is the user-generated content. So we're looking at ways to optimize the content that we get from the users to ensure we can display it more efficiently. Other challenges, obviously within Decentraland, we have a large world. Assets are streamed in from various users, and we're trying to work on ideas of how we can get the predictability of the world and the occlusion within that world so that we can therefore improve the performance. And on top of that, we have other challenges such as bandwidth and caching. So for example, loading and downloading different assets. We don't want users to have to continue re-downloading them. So some of the challenges we are focusing on now are ensuring that the caching mechanisms work so that the load times will improve and it will reduce the overall bandwidth of users to download. And I will now pass you on to the social work stream, which is Alvaro again. You're muted, Alvaro.
Sorry for that. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, so I am the product manager of the social work stream. In here, we are trying to make sure that we provide the best tools for players to interact with each other and create communities within Decentraland. So we actually make sure that players can use Decentraland to create their communities instead of going to other places like Twitter or Discord to create that kind of bonding. And also to make sure that we provide the best tools for creating your own digital identity. So you can craft that kind of identity in a virtual environment, and you can interact with that virtual environment in a seamless or an easy way to do it. Okay. So this is a huge stream. Like at the end of the day, we have lots of stuff here, but I will show you a little bit of a glimpse of things and ideas that we're working on right now. And so we have all these almost divided between the chat, the profiles, the avatars, and what we are calling now the social network or the social feed. So in terms of the chat, we are probably going to be working on this quarter on making sure, for example, that people can mention each other, so you can add people and they will not get notified, because right now we feel like people is talking to each other, but nobody actually noticed that. So we are able to mention each other, or we are able to copy and paste text from the chat or from anywhere inside the client. As we have seen, several data indicates that people is pasting data, but they are not able to copy anything from the chat. So we're gonna be enabling that. But also we have several initiatives to go for private channels, for example. So we launched channels like a few months back. But we would like the communities to create a kind of private channel, so people can invite, can claim the name of a channel and invite certain people so they are together. And maybe there is some perks associated to belong to a specific private channels. Also, we're talking about having guests on public channels, so people can actually interact and go to ask for help on the hashtag help channel, or go to the Spanish or the English language channels, stuff like that. There are other enhancements for the social interactions, like having emojis on the chat or in-world bubbles, so people can actually see who is talking around you. So whenever someone says, "Hey, I have found a treasure," so you can see where that person are instead of actually looking for all the names there. That kind of stuff, it's Yeah, we have tons of ideas there, but a few of them is where we're working right now with mentions and copy paste. In terms of the profile, I don't know, it was the 11th of January, I think it was a few days back. We launched the new profile. I think this was a huge success. Actually, we have seen a lot of good data on players taking more interest in each other, being able to visualize people in 3D, or to rotate their avatar, or to actually, we see a lot of indicator of people that is very interested on copying the wallet address. So probably it's because people would like to have more kind of a trading interaction between each other. We need to really find out what is that, but the data points that way. So I think the passport or the new profile has been a success, and we are seeing a lot of repercussion there. So we would like to have a better place for players to modify their profile, so they can write their biography, add links, define themselves and the way that they want. So we can add properties like your age, your location, your profession, if you are open for business, what your relationship status, whatever you want to add there. It's not something specific, it's whatever you want to add to that profile. So also as well to try to motivate a little bit more the being able to change between your different names, because right now changing a name, it means to go to the builder and swapping it there. Is not ideal. So we will try to show you the collection of names that you have there, so you can swap between them. And maybe swapping between them means swapping between different profiles. We don't know about that yet, but it may be cool. Also, we are thinking about privacy settings. So maybe not everybody would like to in-world name change. Finally. We're talking also about privacy settings. So maybe not everybody would like to show their wearables or their emotes or their lands or names. Or I love this emoji thing now in in Google Meet. It gives me instant feedback or whatever I'm saying. So I love it. About privacy, I think it needs to be up to players to decide which kind of information they want to display on their profile and which kind of people they want to see it. So maybe I don't want to show my wearables to anybody that is not my friend or something like that, So look at for a kind of enhancement. Also, we are looking for customizations or your profile. So if you have a name claim, maybe you can modify the colors of your profile, or maybe the effects that you have in the background of your 3D avatar, stuff like that. And also we're talking about player status. So maybe having a status like I'm busy, or I'm here, or an AFK, or maybe a text that can come together with that. Also, in terms of avatars, we are thinking about enhancing the current version of the avatars. So probably we will do, I won't go much on details here, but we are thinking about redesigning the backpack so we can have better filters and wearable slots, and you will have more visibility on which wearables are being hidden by other ones. A better backpack so you can craft actually better. That's what we have. I don't have it there. Yes, I have it on the top. We have also an idea to create outfits, so you can save the configuration of your avatar and swap between them if you still have those wearables, right? So there is some corner cases that we need to solve. And finally, last but not least, then we have the social network. This is something that we have been talking about for a long time. We would like to integrate a social network inside Decentraland so people can actually share the static content between people sharing individually from scenes, sharing content, images, galleries, videos, events, etc. So people can actually subscribe to those scenes and generate some sort of engagement and more stable connections with that, right? So you can see all that information digested in your wall and maybe consume that in a different external application, maybe on your mobile phone at some point, so you can be engaged with the Decentraland content, not only when you are in front of your laptop or your PC. And also, there is something there at the bottom that is about the camera. So maybe integrating the inward camera for everybody to take pictures and to add filters and take selfies and record videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, these are a bunch of ideas. We mostly know what we're gonna do for the next 3 months and maybe for the 4th and the 5th. But the good news is that from this big bag of ideas, we're gonna be doing an exercise with the community the next Monday the 13th of January. It's gonna be an exercise whoever wants to join. I'm gonna be explaining every single feature that we have on detail. People will be able to vote and give their opinion about what they think on all those features. So we can try to prioritize and take the voice from the community to prioritize those features, because at the end of the day, we have so many ideas that for us, it's not, we don't really understand what you guys want first. So let's try to do this kind of exercise and make it a routine. So maybe every quarter I can do this, and let's try to prioritize what you guys want to see in the platform. So copy the link. Anyway, this is going to be on the presentation and also in documentation at the end. So we will see each other on Monday 13 next week. Okay. And I think that's all my thing. Now I will pass it to Aga. You already know her from the previous presentation. I will take over for the discoverability work stream. Aga?
Yes, thanks, Alvaro. So yeah, I will give quick two slides about what we are focusing on in discoverability workstream. So as you can see, it's connecting users with the content that we care about. We know a lot of people is creating amazing things in the Decentraland, really fun experiences, but finding those, it's not necessarily our strength. So the focus of the stream is actually making sure that you are able to find the content that you are looking for that is interesting for you and meaningful for you. Next slide, please. So for the close future, that's our main focus on our roadmap. Adding favorites. This was one requested feature for a long time. To add it also to the Explorer, we have some functionality like this on the web page, but on Explorer, that part is missing. In general, we actually want to align the functionality that you actually have on the web page with the experience that you have in the Explorer, so you are able also to search for different type of content, worlds, places, the same way also in the Explorer directly, and have the feature parity there. So the next item would be to actually be able to look for different type of worlds, as this is pretty big part now that we are focusing on in the Decentraland. And after all of that, unifying all the searches across the different platforms, we also want to take our chances on the quests and bring this back and iterate on that to make actually more meaningful experiences for you and for the content creators, also to create different type of quests for your scenes and your experiences. We have also a bunch of other ideas, but for the time being, those are our 4 items that we are focusing on. So any feedback is always welcome. All right, so I think we can just jump to the questions.
Yeah, we have the slide right here. So I will open this one in a minute. So, I cannot copy this. Yeah. See.
Brute force.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump to the questions. Actually, what are we gonna do is to give some time for you to read the questions that other people actually wrote, so we can vote on the ones that you think are more interesting, and then we will read top to bottom. Okay. So I will leave a few minutes for that. Okay. How is that going? Anybody needs more time? Raise the hand. Apparently not. So we're going to jump to the questions directly. Okay, cool. So Anonymous is a person that asks a lot of stuff in these sessions. When is Emote V2 going to be launched? So cool that you're planning to do emotes with their own geometry and sounds, right? This is not going to be done soon yet because I think we have considered other stuff to be more important than this. It is true that, yeah, I mean, the documentation, the PID for Emotes V2 has been already written for a long time, and it has all of these, right? It's part from including 3D geometry to sounds to maybe particles, also creating like sequential emotes, like so you can sit down and remain seated and then step up and stuff like that. There is a lot of stuff on the implementation of V2. We wanted to see if the market of emotes actually growth, and we've seen good numbers. So there is a lot of motivation to do this, but probably not on this quarter. Probably it's gonna be maybe in Q2, maybe Q3 this year, but I cannot really promise anything. Cool. I don't know how to remove this from here. Anyway, I will go for the next one. Can we include Web3 authorizations so that we reduce the friction process while onboarding new users, which are familiar with these ways on login, such as Gmail Connect? We've been discussing about it, but I don't think the team in charge of this is in here. This will be for the dApps team. Okay, so I will keep that question and I will pass it to the dApps team, so maybe they can answer on their own AMA. Next one is those.
Also reach out to them so they can answer in the written form for the AMA that we provide.
Also, we can do that. Yes, thank you. Does the formal addition of walls require DCL project resource that could be devoted to the client and project? When you mean project resource, do you mean that development time or effort on our side to build worlds? I'm not sure if I understand this question. Does anybody have an interpretation of this? If it's my interpretation, Floyd?
Yeah, I'm just curious. I don't know if this is the correct forum, but as far as like scene limitations for worlds versus like a single parcel in the client, can you just give any info or explain how those compare?
You have a lot of echo on your microphone. I'm not 100% sure if I understood, but I think you're worried about performance, right? Or resource in terms of what a world is executed against Genesis City? Or
Yeah,
I don't know if you have some sort of a filter on your microphone. Well, if it's related to performance, the same client that is interpreting or processing Genesis City is the one processing worlds. But it doesn't mean that one actually affect the other. Because when you're loading a world, you are not really loading Genesis City at all. But I don't know if that is maybe Aga, Ashley, do you have anything to comment on this?
Yeah, if this is a the performance issue, because I'm also not sure if I got fully the question. But in general, that's the idea of the world. So you can actually run some specific scene in isolation. So you can actually have more resources available from your PC to render and have better performance and a higher frame rate.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm interpreting it right, but it also seems maybe they're wondering if it's taking away resources from your development time working on non-worlds. How is that being managed? I guess that's maybe how I'm interpreting it.
Sure, if it's in terms of development resource, of course. I mean, we have to implement this feature and we're gonna be continuing pushing on that direction. It doesn't mean we are not pushing on Genesis City or adding any value on the core of DCL. We are just developing the first version of Worlds, but most of the development that we do are compatible with both projects at the same time. So every performance thing that we do, it's going to be adding value to both projects. At the end of the day, we don't consider these two different projects. It's the same thing, right? The way that we execute scenes is a different thing, but I would say it is yes, but it's not. You don't need to be worried about it because yeah, at the end of the day, it's the same people doing it.
It's like adding extra features. So if you're, I don't know, adding something from the social stream, it's exactly the same. We just need to maintain this extra feature.
Okay, there is another one that have more votes. It's like user passport flow improved 2 steps. Accidental click block view. First, open small box on site with basic info and more info button to open the new full size. We have been trying a different thing, and it's about trying to avoid accidental clicking. And this is about how we do, when you do click, we capture the click event. We can be mouse up or mouse down or just click. We're trying to do this with the mouse app. So when you click and drag, you don't accidentally click on an avatar. We need to see if that we have a proof of concept to check if that is better. But also we consider about having a mini card of the profile. We think that having 2 steps on the profile, we decrease a lot the number of people actually going to the main profile. So I would like to solve this problem in a different way other than having a mini card on the profile there right now. Because I think the big card of the profile is adding more value than removing or generating problems on that sense. Also, I'm going to start capturing the amount of time the players spend on an open profile to understand how many of them can be considered as a failure or as a mistake. So I would like to see what is that percentage and try to work on that direction based on the number of accidents happen. Hope that answers your question. Next one, it will be this one. What are the optimal PC Mac system requirements to access DCL? I think those requirements are published in the official documentation.
Yeah, just share the link.
Yeah, hardware requirements, you have it there. So yeah, you go to this website and you will see the minimum requirements for both of them. Okay. We don't have any specifics on Mac or Windows. We don't have an OS version. For Windows, it will be Windows 10 app. And for Mac, I don't have an idea. So we will need to publish it here. Any plans for the Decentraland in other device, tablets, VR? Thank you. So the VR client is being actually coded already, and there is a beta version out there for Oculus and Oculus Quest. so you can go and download it. I don't have the link right here. If Ashley, Aga, if any of you have the link, please share it. And that is actually a project that has been funded by the foundation of DAO. So yeah, in terms of other devices like tablets, I will say we are a little bit far from that idea, because we need to really focus on making a good experience right now for desktop and websites. We are having a lot of, it's evident that we have a lot of performance issues. Going for a mobile application, it may means that we need to focus a lot on actually coding a specific or native client for those devices. I know that we are also working on other renderers that may be that are different from Unity, that may be used for different devices, but there is no maturity on those projects to talk actually nothing specific. So I wouldn't really be very optimistic on seeing Decentraland on a tablet soon or on a mobile phone soon. Next one. Our game noticed that the client has significantly more bugs than browser. Our game notices that the client has significantly more bugs than browser. How can we stop these and isolate issues within the client? Very frustrating. Aga, Ashley?
I'm not entirely sure on the question. Is it if the person who asked the question could just be more clear on? Are we saying that the desktop client has more bugs than the browser?
At least that's how I understand this.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
This is not what we get in the data. We're not having more bugs on desktop client than actually the desktop client have much better performance than the website, and we are receiving lots of more crashes on website. But when you say our game notices, it means that you have a game that you have deployed on a land inside the Decentraland, and you have inside data of your scene.
Yeah, I see also some follow-up comments in the chat. So basically, whenever we are doing release, we are also at the same time releasing the same version on the client on the desktop for both macOS and Windows. So both versions are exactly the same code base. It's not like they are running behind. And actually, majority of the code is shared across those two platforms.
If you have any specifics about your scene, please contact us and let's see what any problem that you may have. So we try to find out. Okay. Next question for Anonymous. There is a problem with video ads displayed from the ad server level based on ad shares protocol. Black screen instead of ads views are counting. I don't have an idea of what it means to be supporting the ads inside a scene. I don't know. Ashley, Aga. This probably more about SDK, I guess.
And is this also issue with the desktop or more browser or in general?
I don't know. I don't know what is the ad server level and who is displaying video ads. I've never seen this. So also, if you have problems, please file a ticket in Git. So we'll try to resolve it, and we will go into in detail of your scene to check it.
Yeah, we are checking them regularly basis with our QA and validating everything. So that's the best way to get your issue addressed.
Okay, we will have animated textures for avatars or with emotes. At some point, maybe yes, we will have animated textures on wearables. But I think there is a huge list of things that we will implement inside the avatar first, and maybe not in this avatar version. I must say that we are thinking about creating a new avatar system, and we will discuss about migration of all the wearables that we have today. But we are a little bit constrained by the architecture of our current avatar system, and it will be really hard to continue putting stuff on top of it. So yeah, maybe this is we have been discussing tons of feature for new wearables like vertex displacement, so you can see clothes being affected by wind or by forces, or having different materials on wearables, so you can, instead of having just the toon shader, you can go for any kind of artistic style that you like on the avatar itself, the wearable, etc. Or you can have spring bones on your wearables, so you can create I don't know, like hats that move, or tails or stuff like that. We have been thinking about tons of things that we can do with wearables, but it's really hard with the current structure and the kind of wearable that has been approved already and the kind of categorization that we have today. So yeah, that's part of a very long discussion that we're gonna have. Probably we would like to really focus on avatars and this new version for the second quarter of the year. So we will start having those conversations with the community in the next few months. So stay tuned, because we're gonna have this open conversation for everybody that is interested to participate in the creation of the next version of avatars. Any thoughts on having the ability to drop portals like VR chat to more easily have you and your friends jumped to a new place? I think we have never discussed about this. We have discussed about placing portals inside your scene, so you can jump to maybe a world or another place. But I think we have never discussed this idea. I think it's a cool idea. I think something that can be done, but yeah, we will need to see the mechanism for everybody, so we prevent people spamming portals to everywhere, or just abusing that feature. But I think it's a cool thing. What are the scene limitations for Worlds versus Genesis? The Worlds release indicates they can be max 100 megabytes. That's total megabytes limit for one Genesis parcel. No, the 100 megabytes, it was around 4 parcels. But so far, as far as I know, we have removed the limitation in terms of parcels. We keep the limitation in terms of megabytes. Okay. And this is because it is a beta right now. I think Esteban would like to modify that and remove the limitation or increase the limitation that we have on megabytes. But that's part as well of what we can do on the server that is hosting those worlds. If any of the team have any other insight or any extended information on that, I'm a little bit disconnected from what is going on there. Okay. When will we need to update scenes to SDK 7? I think never, or not soon. As far as I know, we would like to keep SDK 6 retrocompatibility as longer as possible. Maybe at some point in the future. I wouldn't say never, because I don't know what is going to happen in 10 years. But as far as I know, we are not willing to drop the compatibility with SDK 6. If that answers your question. Next one, cool names have world dev delegates. who can dev deploy the world on behalf of the name owner or themselves, could open up an ecosystem similar to Spaces. Maybe. We have been thinking about what is the model of the relation of who is entitled to have a world. For now, we have linked that to a name because it was adding more value on top of names, the value proposition of the names. I don't know if we're gonna continue the discussion. So in the future, it's always linked to a name, or there is any other possibilities to have a word that is not linked to a name. So far, I think it is because we already have as well the links, so it's out as well linked to the Ethereum and ENS. Delegation is something that we have anticipated. When we're discussing about names, we thought, okay, probably we're gonna have developers that would like to code a scene of a name owner in another aspect. So we don't know yet what is going to happen. Maybe you need to have your own name as a developer so you can code experiences in a different network. So then you can move it to production with a real name. I don't know exactly the flow. Aga, Ashley, do you have anything here? Because no, right? Okay. Yeah, we don't know yet, but I think yeah, it has been part of the discussion. With the upcoming updates to loading screen, is that something that parcel owners will be able to edit and update themselves? Have we already mentioned loading screens? Is everybody so updated about loading screens? Okay. So yes, as far as I know, with the well, in the specification of loading screens, you will be able to include the data of your scene description and tips and images, and you will be able to customize the loading screen to your liking. And that is going to be displayed whenever someone is jumping to your scene or you are entering a world. Okay, so that is going to be data that you stored in your scene data, right? You're going to have, I don't know the specific or technical specific, but you're going to have a special folder where you put your images, and you're going to have a JSON file where you wrote the text there of your tips, and the name of the scene and the description and all of that is part of the scene JSON already. And so, yes, parcel owner will be able to edit that information. But don't expect that to be something like an UI. It's not like you're going to go to Builder and modify the loading screen information. That is part of the development of the scene. Okay. Javi from Meu, how can I apply for a potential partnership with DCL platform? I think this is DAO proposal, right? I don't have an idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a DAO proposal.
Okay. So yeah, go and create a proposal in DAO. Get voted. Jason Dog, are there any updates on uploading JPEGs to our DCL names? What? Is this about JPEGs to the names? Is your profile picture what you're talking about? So instead of having the render avatar of the face of your avatar, you're gonna have like a specific image on your profile picture. So what do you mean, Jason Dog? In that case, we haven't really. What? Yeah, it's about to talk.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that's what it sounds like. I don't know.
It's what it sounds like. We don't have that as a priority right now. We haven't discussed it. In any case, in the session that we're going to be hosting on Monday, we're going to have the first part is about voting proposals that we have been working so far. The second part is about adding proposals, right? So everybody will be able to write a card with a proposal and put it there. Always that is related to social and digital identity. Okay, so if you like to propose this, go to the workshop on Monday and write it down, please. What are some of the new Explorer updates you are more excited about? I have some. Aga, Ashley, I can start. Really, I am excited about worlds. I think removing limitations and having isolated scenes can be a great push for Decentraland. And we will see a new dimension on the Decentraland soon, because I think we are conquering, with World, we are conquering not only the Web3, but also the Web2. So I hope soon people is able to replace their website with a wall of Decentraland. So you can have like an immersive experience and navigate the website using a world. And yeah, worlds is one of them. I'm really excited about avatar interaction with the world and having the next iteration of avatars. So far in the Decentraland, you have been a humanoid that can wear t-shirts and all of that related to a humanoid. But in the future, I would like you to be a cosmic octopus or to being a wolf or whatever, a ghost. So you have your own custom interactions with the world being that kind of shape. Yeah, I'm really excited about that, because that will really go into the next level of social interaction. I would like to see how the Decentraland in the future use motion capture or face capture, so you can actually interact with your avatar and see people talking to each other and reacting in the virtual space. That is something that I'm obsessed with, and actually is part of my duties. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. And also, I think the social network will be really good. I think having static content in the Decentraland will generate more engagement between players. So if someone is really excited to be in Wondermine, they will be able to be engaged inside the platform and see the latest news of Wondermine and the events that are going to happen there, and maybe the last party they did there. So with the photos and videos and all that, I think that's a good nice feature that we can have. Aga, Ashley, do you have any comments?
Okay, I saw that you were unmuting yourself, but well, besides all those like fun things, I will be probably more pragmatic and going back to more technical side, because we have been now working on quite a lot on different various optimizations, especially for example for the loading times. We are now in the process of streaming a bit of the assets that we have in the build to making sure that everything loads faster. So those more day-to-day user problems, I'm really excited for the couple months ahead that we have in the pipeline right now.
Pretty much exactly the same as Iga. It won't be. I spend most of my time with my head stuck in performance. So the exciting things for me are going to be anything that improves the performance, and we have quite a lot in the pipeline. Everything from improving the map speed through to like the load times. So, but if I had to pick a specific feature that I was excited about, it'd probably be quests. But other than that, everything's performance for me.
Cool. Next one. Do you have any more updates on the social feed and wall? When is that expected to be launched? Launch. We haven't really started coding it yet, so I cannot really say when it's going to be launched. I'm expecting that we probably gonna be start coding it maybe in the second quarter. So it's gonna be starting in April, and it's gonna be a little bit long project. So I don't expect this to be launched before summer or something like that. So maybe launch on Q3. the beginning of the Q3 if everything goes okay. And about more updates, we are investigating different technologies that can be integrated in Decentraland. Also, development times are really tied to this investigation because there is lots of different social networks or protocols that are out there that we can use, like Lens protocol, for example, or other platforms that are really mature and open source that we can use, like Mastodon, for example. So everything that it's like the backend side of it, we already have it done, maybe, or we need to code it ourselves because the value proposition that we want to do is very different from what these other platforms can provide. We are in that research now, but based on that, if we decide to go ahead with maybe an open source platform, it will reduce the development times a lot. So that is what we're thinking right now. We have lots of designs already in terms of UX and how it's going to work, and how are you going to see that in your profile or the new SIM card, because right now we have a new SIM card. Whenever you go to a place, you will be able to click on the name of the scene and will pop up a card that shows everything that is related to that specific place, and we will include the feed of that place there with the galleries and all of that. So in terms of UX and UI design, we already have a very nice idea of what we want to see there. But yeah, this is all about pre-production. This is about ideas and investigating different approaches. So I will hope to have this finished by the definition of it may be finished by March. And then we can start in April development. But yeah, long answer, sorry.
And just to give you guys a heads up, we have about 5 minutes left. So answer a couple more questions and then we'll call it a wrap.
Okay. Have you considered implementing the Farcast protocol? I don't know what that is. What is the Farcast protocol?
It's I just posted a link in the chat.
Decentralized social network.
Oh, okay.
There
Thank you.
are video clients and Twitter clone clients, chat clients, and it's done off chain, but it's authenticated through the Ethereum blockchain.
Cool. Thank you for that. I haven't seen it. We have already investigated a few of those, but I have not seen this one. So cool. Thank you for this suggestion. I will add it here to my bookmarks. What else? Will we be able to use Markdown to add links within my bio rather than sections off at the bottom of the profile passport? You already are able to use Markdown to add links. Actually, it is the other way around when you want to.
No,
Okay.
no, they're sequestered at the bottom. So if I want to put my Twitter link in my bio, it default sends it to the bottom of the passport page. So maybe that's a bug if you had intended to enable that. But the special markdown with the brackets, as soon as I put that in there, it ends up moving it to the bottom. So there's a list of links at the bottom of the passport.
So you want to add your links inside the text of the video?
Yeah, I just want to be able to, like in Discord or any other, forum post that has markdown capabilities, to be able to do that inside my bio rather than having them sequestered off in one specific location.
Okay, we have been thinking about creating like so you can click on stuff inside your bio or your bio. You can have those links. Actually, in the new section of my profile, you're gonna have a specific section, so you can add a link and have that as we have at the bottom of the bio with the Markdown. So we removed that capability from the description, But if we see that there's a good feature, we will add it so you can have text written. It's not actually copying that or removing that from the bio and put it on the link section. Yeah, I don't see any harm in that, because at the end of the day, links, the list of links will always pop the screen saying, "Are you sure you want to go to this place?" So, yeah, cool. Probably we won't have full compatibility on Markdown because that's a lot of work. But yeah, some of them maybe like bold or yeah, stuff like that. Cool.
Great. I think this is a good time to start wrapping it up.
Okay, I was about to make it.
You were gonna make it. No, yeah. If you have anything else you want to add, I just want to make sure be mindful of your time.
No, it's okay. I'm my mouth is dry already. So I hope this is being helpful. I know that I am dismissive on some of the question and I cannot really answer some of the stuff, but we don't know everything. I mean, we need to actually figure it out stuff, and this is I think this is a good opportunity because we are trying to have a more connection with the community, so we make decisions together. So yes, having this kind of question is also give us input. So yeah, very good session.
Yeah, and thank you, Alvaro, Ashley, and Aga for the great overview presentations on updates. And I think by all the emoji bombs you got during your presentations, I think everyone like me was super stoked by everything you share, and really great, amazing work. And I agree with everyone here that these AMAs are a really great way to connect and have everybody share what's on their mind. And also, Alvaro, be sure to I'll be sure to share the link to your workshop on Monday. So I'll post that on Discord and Twitter for everybody. And thank you to everyone else from the foundation.
Good morning. Okay, let's see. I have a co-host that wants to get up here, I believe.
Good morning. Your co-host is here.